Hi, this is Lawrence at Funnel Profit. Today I'm going to talk about using LinkedIn automation as part of a strategy for selling high value products and services. LinkedIn automation is an important part of a LinkedIn sales strategy. What it does is it uses a small Google Chrome extension which instructs your LinkedIn profile to automatically visit a large number of other profiles that you specify in advanced search or sales navigator search. LinkedIn automation allows you to visit up to 150 profiles a day, which is within LinkedIn's limits. And this is much more than you would normally visit manually. This is a valuable tool because many people whose profiles you visited will then visit your profile in return. In other words, it generates reciprocal visits, which creates a lot of incoming targeted profile traffic. Then a certain percentage of those people who visit your profile will invite you to connect. And accepting these invitations adds them to your first degree network, which allows you to freely message back and forth. Now, this is 100 times better than sending blind in-mails. Now, how does LinkedIn automation work? The idea behind LinkedIn automation is that it turns your LinkedIn account into an inbound sales tool versus an outbound tool like most salespeople use LinkedIn for. This is a key part of a good LinkedIn strategy. Now, the great thing about LinkedIn automation is it can be run in parallel with your daily LinkedIn outbound prospecting work. You can't run it at the same time that you're working in LinkedIn, but you can run it outside of business hours when you're not making calls. Okay, so you can run it outside your business hours or while you're in meetings. When you use LinkedIn automation to auto-visit thousands of profiles over time, what happens is that between 1 and 4% of those people will visit your profile back and ask you to connect. The really important point here is that you're targeting the profiles that you're causing your account to visit. Therefore, the people that ask you to connect are highly targeted potential prospects that you have targeted. Now, it's important to understand that using automation is not an effective LinkedIn strategy by itself. You also need to optimize your profile and you need to publish good content. Okay, those are the two, foundational success elements. Okay, if somebody comes to your profile and they see a ghost town, or they see really poor quality content, or they can't understand what you do or the value you provide, they're simply not going to ask you to connect with them. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of using LinkedIn automation versus an outbound strategy with LinkedIn. First of all, as you can see on the left, some of the pros of LinkedIn inbound, or the automated strategy, is that prospects connect with you. In other words, they're self-qualifying themselves by connecting with you. They're coming from your second degree network, which is much larger than your first degree network, and they typically know that they have some connection to you if they're in your second degree network. If they're in your third degree network, that means they don't really have a direct connection to you. Coming from your second degree network, they are warmer effectively because there is usually some mutual connection or multiple mutual connections, which is a good thing. Obviously, it leverages automation to do the work, instead of humans and time. It can work while you sleep or while you're in a meeting or, in the morning while you're fielding your emails or whatever. It's cost effective, all right? It's just the cost of software plus, if you have somebody else running it for you, that service. And it falls within LinkedIn's terms and conditions. Okay, it obeys LinkedIn's rules. Now, outbound, using LinkedIn as an outbound sales tool, okay, which is different. You find prospects that you want to contact, but they're not yet qualified, right? They haven't had an opportunity necessarily to engage with you or your content, and there's no self-qualification step. You're just going out finding potential prospects that you identify as being ideal, and then contacting them. You can only do outbound with your first degree network unless you use paid in-mails. Okay, so as you can see, having a large first degree network, which is this network building process, is very valuable because once somebody's in your first degree network, you can message them and contact them at will. You also get access to their contact information, whatever they have in their profile, that is only available to first degree connections. So you have more ability to contact them. Okay. Downside of outbound is that if you haven't been doing an inbound strategy with LinkedIn, your outbound strategy will be limited by the size of your first degree network, and your first degree network really won't grow as fast as if you did them both. Okay. Outbound also relies on one-to-one messaging, okay, one-to-one calls. And a lot of times that's cold. The messaging stream is very cluttered these days. There's a lot of people messaging back and forth and using autoresponders sort of mercilessly. So you don't want to do that. It is difficult to get through that noise. Outbound prospecting on LinkedIn is also very time consuming. It's very manual. Even if you have other tools like LinkedIn Helper, it can be time consuming. Okay, it can be expensive, obviously, because time is money, and your salespeople are not cheap, especially senior salespeople. And it's sort of like finding a needle in a haystack, except that you have to talk to the whole haystack as opposed to just talking directly to the needles. And importantly, LinkedIn limits it. So you can't just go spamming your first degree network all the time and trying to connect with everybody. Also, obviously, it's limited by the fact that you can't go outside of your first degree network to contact somebody directly, unless you spend a fair amount of money on advertising or emails, which are fairly ineffective compared to a one-to-one strategy. All right. So if you'd like to talk to a LinkedIn lead generation expert, Funnel Profit, we deliver LinkedIn lead generation services to B2B clients. You can contact us by visiting funnelprofit.com/LinkedIn lead generation service, or just Google LinkedIn lead generation service. We're typically at the top of the search results, and we look forward to speaking with you.